Welcome back, everybody. Happy solar eclipse day.
Hola. I can't see.
I don't know where the mic is at.
I can hear you, so you're good.
Well, if you're listening to us before the solar eclipse,
How? If it's going to come out that day.
It's coming on the 8th?
oh, it's actually, yes, so it's coming out.
The day before.
No, it's coming out late because it's a Monday.
Yeah.
But this comes out at noon, and the eclipse is supposedly coming out around 1. So you have time.
You have time.
To listen to the pod and then go.
Or listen to it while you're looking at
There you go.
At the moon.
Look at the sun while reading about the sun.
Amen.
Is it about sun as in Jesus?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Do you know him? I don't think you do.
What would Jesus do?
He's lukewarm.
Well, happy solar eclipse day. Oh, man. Well, let us know in the comments if you liked it, if it was everything you hoped for.
I don't think Manuel's going to like it. What do you think,
Maddie,
Manuel?
what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a once in every 5-year type of an event. So
But this happened like a couple months ago.
No, this is a total.
yeah, it's a total. Yeah.
It's not 5 years. Well,
No, it's more like 7, right?
I have no idea.
It happened when we went to Chicago.
But it happened here.
no, it's happened
I don't know.
before, but Texas, it's been a while since we've been in the path of totality.
Right. Yeah, because the last time I saw it, I was driving to Chicago, and I was in the middle of Missouri, and everybody on the highway stopped to see it.
Mm.
And it was dark, it was eerie.
So over there was total.
Yes.
So everybody has some sort of...
Like
they could
coverage.
see... Yeah, they could see it, but only some parts are total. Like here.
Right.
Total
So I think
coverage.
here in Texas, it's literally a full solar eclipse.
Black.
Have you seen the theory that all the places getting the total eclipse, they're all like Nineveh, Texas, Nineveh, Tennessee, Nineveh this, Nineveh that?
Really?
Yeah.
But also, there's also that thing where the previous one, which was in October, and the one that's happening in April, like cross.
Where do they cross that exactly?
They supposedly in El Paso.
No, I saw one that crossed in the Ark in Kentucky. That Ark, whatever.
Well, it crosses, but the X is in El Paso.
What's going on in El Paso?
I don't know, just
I don't like El Paso. It's weird.
no, it's just I think there's been like people trying to get over the border, maybe.
I haven't heard. I haven't seen anything.
Probably on news.
And no one's going to see them because it'll be all dark. I mean, you said it.
Illegal aliens.
Manu, what do you feel about aliens?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Whoa, you're a MAGA supporter now? Wow, man.
Showing his true colors.
Jeez, I didn't know you were that bold. First, you take off the mask, and now you're a MAGA supporter? Wow. I mean, jeez.
I was watching the news the other day. I think I saw him storming the Capitol on January 6th.
Are you serious?
Oh, man.
The new man.
That's what you get for not coming, man.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's here.
Yeah, of course. He's always been here. He will always be here. You just decided to take off the mask today, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hopefully it stays. For sure for the next 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure he said that you're gonna take it off for the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah. I understand, man. You know, it's like a metaphorical as well. You know, you take off your mask, you show your true self to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what this biblical reading of this year is really helped you to open up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take off the mask and be yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Amen, brother. Amen.
All right, so let's get into it. We finished Judges today. Good riddance.
Yes. Where do we leave off? Oh, Gideon.
Yeah, we
Where we
finished
left
off
off.
Gideon.
I have Kitty.
The whole battle, and he was ready to go an army, and God was like, "No, take less people, less people, less people." And he's like, "What?" And they still won.
So I remember last week we said like good. I even we read good things about Gideon. He was the least, but God chose him. But then this week when I read that he, a couple of things he did and weren't that great, weren't that hot. But I mean, that's us too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's what I saw with Gideon.
Yeah, it's crazy the switch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think God knew. He knew all along, but I think it was more of showcasing that God can use anybody, even if your character flaws are very prominent. And his character flaws were crazy because he kept asking for more and more and more,
Mm-hmm.
and then God gives him more, right? And he helps him win the battle, but then he gets like this big head, and then he starts going. So we started in Judges 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Ephraimites, yeah, they're mad because for some reason they're like the warriors of Israel. Like their tribe is like the warrior clan, and they get mad that either God or Gideon didn't ask them to join the fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, bro, like just with 300 people, they didn't even lift up a sword. So, like, why are you getting mad? So then Gideon's out there I think they're trying to finish off the surrounding towns or whatever. And then so they go to their allies, right? There's like these two kings that are nearby, and they're supposedly their allies. And he, when he goes there to see if they can like help them or give them at least like food or supplies and stuff, those kings reject them.
Mm-hmm.
And so Gideon's like super mad. He's got this big head now because he won the battle or whatever. And now, so to retaliate, right? Because he can't let his pride be damaged, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gets the kings and he pretty much kills them, and he steals their
jewelry, no?
yeah, I think they call it
Crescent.
yeah, and then he turns it into an ephod.
Mm-hmm. Breaking the law.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lawbreaker. Criminal.
But I mean, what do you expect, right? Like, there's no law. These people are, just because God sends His Spirit to be with these people, it doesn't mean they're righteous. It's just the person who God using at the time.
Mm-hmm.
God, even through the wickedness, God uses people to fulfill His purpose. Right?
I mean, while he was, the Bible says, while he was the judge, the land had peace for 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that did something. But as soon as he died, they went back to their gods.
Baals.
Mm-hmm. Is that how you say it? Baal. And they rejected the Lord again. It's just a pattern, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Keeps continuing.
But I think his story gets crazier too, because he takes a bunch of concubines and wives.
Oh yeah.
And he has like 70 sons, apart from like if he had daughters too.
Mm-hmm.
But he had 70 sons. And I think he's the first person to self-proclaim himself a king.
Oh yeah.
Because he names one of his sons Abimelech,
Mm-hmm.
which means my father is king.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because then Gideon starts getting old or whatever. And so then his son, because his name is that, he decides to take that power as well to be the next king, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like I don't know, even despite like maybe his other sons had maybe more to the claim to the throne, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the one that, and the people got behind him because he's like the more confident one, like ready to take the mantle, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think he pretty much kills all the sons
except one, the youngest.
Yeah, I think it's Jotham or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jotham.
But yeah, because he was afraid they'll take his throne, I guess.
It's like a whole Game of Thrones thing. It's crazy.
Literally. And then
Don't watch that show, kids.
don't do it.
We did it for you, so you don't have to.
But did he stone them? His brothers? Or how did he kill them?
Yeah, I think. Oh man, I forgot.
Right?
Yeah, it was something to do with the stone, or they went up to a stone to kill him, or something like that. I forgot.
Because he dies by the stone, which is very ironic, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So.
But I mean, that's. I think we talked about it last week too, where this cycle just continues, and then so 10 through 12, the next day it's like they talk about another.
Like what, 3-4 more judges?
Yeah, 1, 2.
Short term.
Tola, Jair,
6.
Jephthah,
Jephthah,
Ibsen,
Elon,
and Abdon.
Musk.
It's from the Bible.
All right, it's enough. Yeah. Abdon? Abdon?
Y luego, Samson.
Yeah, well, those judges didn't really
Too much.
but I mean, it's the same cycle.
There's peace and then they sin. There's peace and then they sin.
Blah, blah, blah. But it's crazy, right, who God chose to illuminate these people more just because it's more of the I think y'all watched there's like a video before when we read a brand new book or we start a brand new book of the Bible, there's a video that pretty much highlights the story of the whole book. Y'all watch those?
No, I should.
It's interesting. It's really interesting. So we go to Samson. Go for it.
Samson
era un chiquito.
So basically, after all those kings, Samson was born. The angel of the Lord, so Jesus, appeared to his mom and basically said, "Hey, you're barren. You can't have kids, but you're gonna have a little kid." And what was it? Oh yeah, and you're gonna become pregnant, but your son, you can basically never shave his head.
Like dedicate him to the Lord.
Nazareth? A Nazarite.
Nazarite.
Yeah.
That's right.
What's it called now? The Nazarite vow or something?
Vow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that he has to be dedicated to God, but he's going to be the one that delivering Israel from the Philistines.
But he ain't no saint either.
He had a little shady. He did good things.
It was kind of sad, his story.
Yeah.
I found it very sad. I don't know.
I chalk it up to like a kid that you spoil because not that every parent just assumes that their kid's going to be great and that somebody prophesied over them or something. But I think they took it too far and it may have gone into his head maybe.
His strength?
Well, even... Yeah, I mean, everything. Because imagine like child actors, right? They'll be told their whole lives like, "Oh, you did great. You're amazing. You're awesome. You're such a great actor or singer or whatever." And it gets to their head, and not like any of the consequences of like the actions they take. Sometimes they don't even face them, or it's because he's famous or whatever, and so they'll do whatever they want. I'm not saying everybody, but I think it's kind of the same thing for Samson. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm sure, like you said, Abraham, growing up, he was told that, hey, God came to me and told me that you were going to deliver all these people and you're going to get all this super strength. I'm pretty sure it really got to him and be like, nothing can touch me, like he got too confident that it's going to happen. So I don't need to worry or watch myself, basically.
Yeah, he literally did whatever he wanted. He killed all these people and he got whatever woman he wanted. But we see that women are his weakness. Aside from his hair.
But why do you think that God would allow him or even still give him the strength to do whatever he wanted? Like, why do you think God still provided the strength?
I guess, like you said earlier, he was gonna fulfill whatever God was gonna had for him. Like obviously, God sees the future; He knows what's gonna happen. So He's like, "Well, I need him to do this one thing, and then whatever else he does, it's not of my will, but I don't know."
It's kind of like a roundabout way to fulfill his purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if Samson would have just obeyed, he probably would have got along better.
Mm-hmm.
But
When
I don't know. Do you blame his parents? Maybe.
No, I think they were just going off of what God told him and the promises. I didn't think they expected to.
Well, I mean, he grew up with the high priest, no, or who was it? Like he grew up in the Word. He grew up in, I guess, the church back then, whatever that is.
But they all did. All Israelites had to learn the law.
No, but he didn't say like he was close to him. Didn't he say?
Well, yeah, because he was given like the prophecy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, everybody knew the law. But I think the podcast lady even said that this was more of the of what we refer to now as like a traditional superhero because of his strength.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's abnormal. It's not like she even mentions like towards the end of the Samson story that he particularly wasn't even like muscular. He was just a regular dude, but they knew
Strong, super strong.
that something gave him power, and that was God, right? Because they all knew. But I don't think the Philistines knew. Because they really wanted to know where he got his power from.
Yeah.
They knew it was from God, but like how?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they didn't know it was from God and they really want to find out.
That's why, and that's when Delilah comes in.
Well, first, so he's gonna get married to some chick, right? I forgot her name.
But the way he does it, I think Abraham, you should follow suit and be like Samson when it comes to get a woman. Basically, he says, "I have seen this woman in Timnah. Go get her for me." That's what you should do, Abraham. Conquer. Tell Manuel, I saw that woman.
Forced against her will.
Go get her for me.
Manuel, what do you think?
No way, Manuel. No way.
You don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
But yeah, so he's gonna get married to some chick, right? So they have this. So they get married actually, and so they're at the party.
Doesn't he get the sister or something?
Yeah, but so they get married, but they didn't consummate yet.
Right.
So they get married. They're at the party. The Philistines are like, oh no, he tells them a riddle because before he had killed a lion, and then he went back.
How did he kill the lion?
With his bare hand.
It's a little crazy.
And so, well, I mean, David did that too. So then Samson, he goes back because he can't touch dead bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes back a few days later to scoop up the honey. I guess some bees were living in the lion, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes back and gets the lion. So he tells these Philistines a riddle that only he knows. Nobody else would know.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Philistines get mad because they're not guessing it right. And so they tell his newly wife to go see if she can find out what the answer is.
Mm-hmm.
So right away, the wife already betrays him, like, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And so because, jeez. Oh, what's that?
To the streets.
Yeah.
I'm tripping. She tripping.
Yeah, and so once they get the answer right, because what's her face, he has to fulfill or like he's obligated to like honor the bed, right? So he goes off to another town to kill more Philistines to bring back their clothes to give to them because he lost the bet. But in the meantime, what happens? The stupid father-in-law.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's out killing all the Philistines, and when he comes back, the little trifling hoe is with another person because the father-in-law gave him to her.
Oh yes. Yes.
He gave him to the best man.
Yes.
Bruh.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so obviously he's mad. And what does he do?
He marries his sister.
Yeah, the father-in-law gives him a sister.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
It even sucks too when he was coming back. The Bible says that he got a young goat and went to go visit his wife. He was ready to see her.
Yeah, he came back to consummate the marriage.
He was trying to go into the room, and then the father-in-law was like, "No, don't go in there, don't go in there." Why? I gave her away.
And so Samson's pissed, right? Because like he got the sister or whatever, but he was humiliated more than anything. He hurt his pride.
Mm-hmm.
And so what does it say? He ties up 40 oxes and burns the tails, and he sends them off to the fields to burn all the crops.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Philistines are pissed.
He's just causing ruckus.
Yeah, but because he knows he can defeat them all.
Defeat them, yeah.
I mean, this is his fault from the beginning, though.
Is that the arrogance? Is that
if
like
we look at 14, when he tells his parents, "Go get her," when the parents were confused, it says here in the parentheses that his parents did not know that this was from the Lord, who was seeking an occasion to confront the Philistines. So,
Yeah, it's all his fault. But because he's losing at his own game, he gets mad and bitter, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then, so because the crops are burnt, the Philistines are pissed, and they capture the father-in-law and the daughter, and they burn them.
Oh, he mad.
I mean, the Philistines, right? It's like you're messing with their stuff. So, of course, they're going to retaliate too. But I think he knew that too. So then, so Samson goes running off, and then Judah, the tribe of Judah, they capture him because they want to turn him in to the Philistines because he's causing a bunch of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy that they turn, like his own people turn him in. But I mean, they'd have to be like all the way to the breaking point already, where like this guy is just more bad than good, even with his super strength, whatever. So I mean, I kind of blame him, but I kind of don't. I don't know. Would y'all do the same thing?
I mean, I'd be like, come on, man. But I get it, because he's killing all these people, and he's like, I don't know. If he brings it on himself, all this trouble.
I think he doesn't know his own strength.
Yes.
He's like your pups. They think they're small puppies, but they don't know how big they are.
Samson?
Yeah. Because I think to him, he thinks he's untouchable.
Well, oh, okay. Yeah, okay. No, I thought you meant his actual strength. No, he knows his strength.
No, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like,
It's kind of like God gave it to me and I might as well use it type of thing.
yeah, but you mean he's pushing it too far, and he doesn't think anybody will touch him because of his strength.
Exactly.
But people will get clever, and well, I mean, what happens next?
I mean, he doesn't think he has any consequences to his actions. So he does whatever. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then he kills all these Philistines with donkey jaw?
Mm-hmm.
Jawbone, I think.
Jawbone of a donkey. Of a donkey. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And after that,
Thousands.
says he was very thirsty, so God opened up a place for water, and water came out, and his strength returned.
Mm-hmm. So it's like God gave him, like he never took it away all this time.
But that's why I asked in the beginning,
You know,
why
like,
do you think God is facilitating this? Like he knows, God knows that he's doing bad. Why does he still give him the strength?
I mean, what did he tell his mom? He told him that he told her that he was gonna
Get victory over the Philistines.
Over the Philistines. Like that was his.
And I think to him, even though he did get with a Philistine woman, I think he remembers, hey, I'm meant to destroy him. So he's like, okay, might as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's like you said, he's he doesn't know his strength in the sense that he has a bunch of strength, but that's all he is. He's more brawn than brains.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
And so I guess Samson is like the lesser of the two evils, either the Philistines or Samson, and rather Samson than all the Philistines kill all the Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
So then, he goes to Gaza. Then that's where he meets.
Delilah.
But he almost gets in trouble though because he was with a prostitute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Delilah was a prostitute too.
Maybe, but that prostitute almost got him in trouble because they spotted him and they wanted to kill him in the morning.
Oh, true.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so Samson then meets Delilah, and then so the Philistines. She's a plant. She's an industry plant, and so the Philistines want her to see if they can get Samson's secret of why he has the strength that he has. And so I think the podcast lady also explains here why would the Philistines be asking these questions? So you can obviously like infer that he probably didn't have muscles. Like he wasn't this
big old
humongous
like the pictures show.
Right. He had dreadlocks. In fact, 7 dreadlocks. And he's a deep sleeper because what's your face kept on messing with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally has no discernment because she kept asking him, like, what is the point? Like, when you realize, I know what you're trying to do. Like, why you keep asking me the same questions?
Exactly.
And he says that, right? But I don't know.
He's probably a little dumb.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's more bronze than brains.
Yeah.
It's funny. All the pictures depict him like this big old like D1 football athlete.
Yeah, I think I saw one where, I don't know if y'all seen Dragon Ball Z, where there's this bad guy named Brawly. They kind of depict him as like that, but of course not.
Mm-mm.
So then Delilah finds out a secret because he's dumb and he gives his secret away. But that also speaks to like the influence a woman has, right?
Well, before that, I think he knew he was onto her. So when he asked, "What's the secret?" and he tells like, "If anyone ties me with fresh bowstrings that haven't been dried, I'll become weak." And so while he's sleeping, they try to do it, and little does she know that really wasn't it.
But he should have stopped right there. he kept telling her like lies to catch her, but like, okay.
Yeah, but it's his pride that keeps on, because he played the same games with the Philistines in his wedding party. Like he's playing with people.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know that he's just pushing them way too far and then he's going to be dumb and reveal the secret, and he still thinks he's going to beat them.
Does that define, is he a narcissist?
I
mean, probably.
Right?
No, maybe.
I'm trying to describe.
He's overconfident. That's for sure.
And also
it's like those like spoiled rich kids from the Woodlands, that their daddy's a lawyer. Exactly. So anytime they get in trouble, they're like, my dad's a lawyer. They think they're untouchable. Spoiled rich kids of the Woodlands. So he's basically a spoiled Nazarite.
Yeah, because he was coddled the whole time because he has a purpose or a calling.
Wow.
So, see? So not everybody with the calling is good.
Dun, dun, dun.
What do you think, Manuel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Excellent point, Megan. And so we finally get Delilah to.
Is it me or I feel like Manuel's talking more today?
I don't know. It's got to be the mask.
Yeah, he's finally free.
Yeah,
he's free of speech.
And he has the headphones on in a certain way, so I don't know. This confidence that just surged out of him.
He has new mind.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets married in the next couple months. So.
Probably.
We'll announce it.
Maybe a Philistine woman or something.
Ooh.
What's the secret to your strength, Manuel?
My hair.
No, there's gonna be like, it's complicated.
We love you, Manny.
Man. Thanks for coming on, Manny. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. But
All the
back to
way.
your question earlier about a woman having what would you say the word was? Influence. Because after the 3 times that he fools her, basically she guilt trips him. Like, come on, like you still don't trust me after all these times? I mean, I wouldn't either. And then I like verse 16 because it really speaks to the nature of women. With such nagging, she prodded him day after day until he was sick to death of it.
What are you trying to say?
That you're a nagger.
With such nagging. You know, the word. It just shows even the strongest of strongest. You know,
Sure. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Looks like
It was
JP's
fun.
going to be sleeping outside today.
I
Manuel,
guess
can I
so.
stay with you tonight?
It's complicated. Yeah, I know. It is. You go sleep on the table with whiskey. It's dirty.
It is.
What do you say about this nagging?
I mean, I could see it happening.
She didn't deny it.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Before I got to go home with you, Abraham.
I have a couch, so
You did. Oh, like
He's just annoyed, I think.
he probably didn't even mean to say the secret. It was just like, yeah, stop already. It's because of this, you know.
no, but it's also the come on, don't you love me? Why don't you love me? Why don't you just tell me? You know.
Yeah.
So it's that plus the annoyance and just the nagging. Yeah, it's all everything together. Typical women. Yeah.
I want to read this in the Gen Z translation. I wonder what it says.
Go for it.
You need to get it. It's on Amazon.
She just kept bothering him every single day until he was totally over it.
There's actually a translator.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But it could be
Seems
any
fair.
text. It's not just Bible.
Yeah, any text.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
So yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So the Philistines know how it works, and so when she cuts his hair, now the Philistines run in, and they pretty much capture him. He tries to fend them off, but I mean he gives the secret away, so looks bad on him. So they capture him. It's crazy. They pretty much torture him like crazy. They
I know.
gouge his eyes out.
Oof.
They force him to work in the mill, which is a woman's position.
Mm-hmm.
So they humiliate him as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's sad, yeah, but also it had to take this for him to realize.
He got humbled real quick.
And I think it's a good point that the podcast lady said that all this whole time, Samson would refer to God as Elohim, which is just the generic name for God.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was locked up and chained up, he finally called God by his name, which is Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Just sad.
Mm-hmm.
But then before he dies, he does kill a couple more Philistines on his way out.
Yeah, I mean, he had to do one last good deed. You know?
His hair grew back.
And honestly, it's to fulfill the purpose that he was brought here for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I mean, that if he could at least do that. Because, man, like his whole life has been just a disaster and misusing his talent and his gift.
And the funny part is that the Philistines are the ones that took him to the pillars. Because Samson tells the servant, take me to the pillars where the building leans on. And he was like, okay.
I know, and also dumb Philistines too. Like, bro, like it's his hair, right? Like
he has it back.
Why do you think it would just go away when you cut it in once? Like, if it's his hair, Like, keep on cutting it. Like,
Idiots.
whatever. So yeah, so finally, Samson, he cries out to God. And he goes, and when he cries out to him, God answers that prayer because his hair has grown back, and so the spirit of his strength filled him up again, and he was able to knock down those columns, and in the process killing a crap load of Philistines.
Would the Bible say that he killed more dying than he did alive?
Right.
Yeah, he killed many more when he died than he lived.
While he lived. That's crazy.
That's the story of Samson, guys.
He led Israel 20 years. Dang.
I wonder if they made a movie of Samson yet.
They did. In 2017 it came out.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it cheesy or it's like a legit one?
No, it looks legit. I remember when it came out too. I wanted to go see it. I was working at Lifeway at the time.
How many stars does it have?
4.5 out of 10 on IMDb. It is probably too.
Worth a shot.
We'll watch it for
Samson,
you guys and report back.
King Balak, Delilah.
I think Manuel saw it already. Right, Manuel?
Caleb.
Yeah. He recommended.
It is on Tubi. Oh, it's on Roku.
Oh, that means it.
That's when it sucks.
The only it's on. It was by Pureflix. No wonder.
What is?
They only got 4.9 million at the box office.
Something.
Did they at least break even? What was the budget?
Look at the wiki.
Anyway, I can't find it, but let me read you this review. There's someone asks, "Is it worth watching Samson?" And they respond, "Samson is a biblical epic worth watching. The result is a film that tries hard but feels like a casual shrug of the shoulders."
That sounds honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think woke Hollywood's gonna get behind making a movie. So Samson, so they're gonna put their own twist like they did to that stupid Noah movie.
Oh,
that's right. What's his name?
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
He was great in Gladiator. But
now they're probably gonna make Samson gay or something. Instead of Samson and Delilah, Samson and who could they put him with?
Dan.
Delilah's trans.
Delilah. What's your secret?
Horrible.
And we're canceled.
All right, moving on. So this is a guy named Micah, right? He steals jewelry from his mom. Like what?
Yeah.
And he sets up an idol or an altar for it. And this is like where anarchy just starts, right? Because I think one of the verses says the people did what was right in their own eyes. And it's like, yeah, everything's going to crap, right? So then this Micah guy, he gets one of these Levites and makes him a priest. He pretty much wants to make himself like one of the Levites or something. He wanted to be a priest, and so when they went up to the tribe of Dan, he wanted Jonathan to be their priest as well. Pretty much just like going against the law. Like, bro, like, who are you?
Are you supposed to be born into being a Levite?
Yeah.
You can't just join, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember.
That was weird. So then we get to the end of Judges. This is a crazy story here towards the end. So there's this Levite guy. I forget his name. Did it mention his name or just a Levite? So for some reason he has this concubine, right? Which he treats lesser of a wife. It's pretty much just to procreate. Pretty much treats her as a slave. And so
his wife leaves him.
Oh, okay.
And then he goes and tries to win her back. And then they're like, "Oh, stay a couple nights, stay another one." And then at the end, he's like, "Okay, we gotta go." He leaves with his concubine, and then they go to a town. I forgot what the town was called.
Yeah, it's like a Philistine town, right?
Yeah, and then some perverts want to sleep with her.
He wanted to kind of keep going till they hit a Israelite town,
right?
But she decided she wanted to.
She just wanted,
and they wanted to stay in the town square. But there was this guy who came up and he asked him, "Hey, go and sleep in my house." It kind of gave you like the Sodom and Gomorrah vibes, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Where they go into the guy's house, and then there's like some leadership from the tribe of Benjamin
Yes.
who come asking for them both. And just like Sodom and Gomorrah, the guy, the host, he gives up his daughters as like instead of their guest, which is just crazy. But then they literally just torture her and rape her.
And and they leave her at the door.
Yes, dead. And so yeah. And so the Levi guy, he takes her back and he dismembers her
limb by limb.
This must be your favorite chapter.
Into 12 parts.
This is like your favorite story. Huh?
One for each tribe.
That's crazy.
But it's
the Bible's crazy.
But it's funny, right? Because he does it so that the people and all the tribes know that what had happened. Yeah. But he didn't tell them the whole story. He didn't tell them what
it was
what
him.
Part that he played.
And
so he literally caused the civil war because all the tribes came down. Is it Gilgal or some other town? Where they all met and they decided what to do, what actions they're going to take against the Benjamites.
War, yeah.
And so they go off to the Benjamites and they ask them. They even like try to plead with them. Hey, let's figure this out. Bring out the people who did this so that we can just punish them. And they don't want to give them up. So it's like, well, now it's civil war
for 3 days.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. And I think didn't it say that there was like only 600 people left?
Yeah, they didn't want to kill off all of them.
Yeah, because then there'd be no more Benjamin tribe.
Well, yeah, so
which is crazy that
they left some there.
That's where
Boaz, no?
No, that's where Ruth? Saul comes from.
Yes. Somebody comes from Benjamites. Yes.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, we'll be getting to Saul, but so
before we get there.
That's pretty much the end of Judges. What do y'all think about Judges? Crazy, right?
It's the goriest book I've so far, right?
Pretty cool.
You love it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you like that stuff. Weirdo. What do you think, Manu?
Yeah.
You wish you were Samson? You're crazy, man. First you take off the mask. Now, then you say you're MAGA all the way, Trump all the way. And now you want to be Samson?
I can see him with dreadlocks. Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know, man.
Moving right along. So we in Judges and we go straight into Ruth. Ruth is just 4 chapters, but
it's an important part of Jesus' lineage.
And that's probably the only reason why it's in the Bible.
It's in Mm-hmm. But it's good. I liked it.
See, now we know that the whole Bible just points to Jesus. That's your proof.
Does it?
There you go.
Dun dun dun. No, that's a different song.
That's dun. What's that one?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No, the other one. Dun, dun, dun. Remember, is that squirrel? Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So we get to Ruth. Ruth is a widow because the husband dies, and also the husband of
her mother-in-law.
Her
father-in-law dies.
Yeah, dies too.
And her brother-in-law dies.
Yeah, and so it's Ruth.
Didn't say why, or how.
No.
They just died.
Yeah, it's Ruth, and then it's Naomi, and it's Orpah.
Orpah.
Mm-hmm. Damn, Orpah, take this L because she left.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want to stick it out. Whoa, because they're from Moab, right? So
yes,
because Naomi is from Israel. She because they're widow, they decided to go back to their family, right?
Well, they went to Moab because of a famine, right? First of all,
right,
and then they all died, and they're like, "No, let me go back home." And Orpah's like, "No, I go back to my homeland." And then Ruth's like, "No, I go with you, Naomi." Basically.
And Orpah was like, deuces.
Deuces.
So yeah, they start going back to
Bethlehem.
Israel.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so Naomi's bitter, right? So she calls herself Mara or something, which means better.
Mm-hmm.
And because she thinks that her family descendants it's going to be cut because none of them had kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so they decide to go back. And when they go back, they're starving, right? It's just two women, two women back then, or a woman back then, widow, was pretty much good as dead because everything you are is tied to the guy, because the guy he owned the property. He was the head of the household. So if you were a widow and you didn't have family to fall back on, like, you were literally dead. Who would take you? Mm-hmm. And we're going to see in the story too that it's just crazy how the law works, to where she could be part of the Israelite family despite her being a Moabite. Mm-hmm. So once they get to Israel, they're looking for food, and so they decide to go into. Naomi tells Ruth to go into this field because
work.
Yeah, the way the law works was that when they asked to harvest the crops, they would tell the people. The law was that everything on the outskirts, they had to leave because they would leave that for the poor people. And so she was there trying to get some crops, but that's when she meets
Boaz from the clan of Amalek.
Yeah,
he owned the land, right? The field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so he was
a nice guy.
Yeah, nice dude. He gives her, for some reason, I don't know if it says it, but I'm pretty sure it does, that he took favor upon her. I don't know, maybe because she said that she knew Naomi.
Mm-hmm. He was asking about her, like, who's that woman? Mm-hmm. She's a Moabite.
Yeah, and so he kind of gave her more than he would usually give to other people. And so when she went back to Naomi, she told him that she met this guy named Boaz. And so Naomi was like, "Oh, that's our what is it? What do they call it? Family Redeemer." Mm. So this Family Redeemer is this cultural practice that they had in Israel, where there was this guy who would marry the widow to protect the family property, protect the family line. Mm. And so that was Boaz. And so Ruth and Naomi come up with a plan so that they can get Ruth to marry Boaz, so that Boaz can become their redeemer. And so Ruth goes to Boaz while he's sleeping.
Of course.
A little sus, but it doesn't explicitly say that he did anything, but she pretty much confessed or expressed his love. Not even love.
Her interest.
What would you say? Yeah, more like interest, because her interest was to survive, right? To be part of the family. Mm-hmm. More than anything, Naomi, right? Because Ruth was a Moabite, so it was more of if Ruth married into the family, the family line can continue. So Ruth finds Boaz sleeping in the field. So then Ruth pretty much asks Boaz to marry her. And this dude says yes.
Yeah, because Boaz isn't dumb. Like, he sees Ruth, and he sees her, and the text says he sees her as a woman of noble character. You know, mm-hmm. Even whenever they did meet, she was like, "Oh, how did I find favor?" Like, she was like, all very humbled. He invited her to go eat with him. You know, like, so he was.
What did he tell her? Like, go ahead and like get water from the special jar.
And eat this bread I made. So he knows they're both interested. She just made the first move.
So you're telling me the key to a woman is food?
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Manuel, you like men?
Whoa, man, whoa.
Okay, moving on.
I think he said the woo men.
Oh, okay.
It was like under his breath.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Woo, men.
Mm.
So
Poor man.
and so Boaz says yes. But he said, let me I'm gonna have to bring this up to the town square because we need to make this public.
Mhm.
And so, but then he says, oh, there might be an issue because there may be somebody in the family who has more of a legitimate, what is it called? Like someone closer to the family, who's closer into the family, that has the right to claim her as the redeemer. And so when he goes to the public square where everybody's at and they all sell and stuff, he tells the guy, hey, so there's this Ruth lady who is a widow now, and you're next in line to redeem her into your family. And the guy says no because he has already like a family, a wife and kids and stuff. So he didn't want to take her in because then they would have to like allot some of the inheritance or the property to her as well. And so even the podcast, it was like, this was something that was frowned upon if you did it, but because Boaz was there, it was kind of like a more joyous day because that meant he could take her into the family. So so he declines to take Ruth and also because she's a Moabite, and they usually would marry into the same Israel family.
Mm-hmm.
So then Boaz and Ruth get married, and Boaz inherits that part of the
land.
family property, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a kid who is
Jesse, right?
no
Obed,
Obed, which is the father
of Jesse, and then Jesse is the father of David.
There we go.
Amen.
So that is the end of Ruth. It was short. And so this last day of this week, we start off on Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a crazy story too.
Yeah.
There's this girl named Hannah who is married to this guy. I forget his name. It's in there. But Hannah's barren.
Elkanah.
Yeah, Elkanah. And but he also has another wife named Peninnah.
But he favors Hannah.
Pretty much.
He likes her more.
It's just crazy, right? How
loves her more.
The favored one is the barren one. It's like Jacob
always Rachel.
Jacob and Rachel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody else.
But it's well,
Abraham and Sarah, right?
Was it Isaac?
Isaac and
no. Isaac took Raquel. No.
Rachel. No. Jacob and Rachel.
Yeah.
Somebody.
I forgot her name.
Y'all know people.
Yeah.
Y'all know. We read it.
And so unlike Rachel, right? Rachel's just screaming and just being sad, or screaming at Jacob for favoring Leah.
Leah. Mm-hmm.
Because she had the kids and she didn't. But Hannah goes to Eli, to the temple, the priest Eli. And Eli thinks she's drunk because she's telling him that she tells God, if you give me a son, I will dedicate him to you.
Isaac and Rebecca.
Yes.
Okay. I just had to clear that up. It's like I need to know.
And so God answers Hannah's prayer.
Mm-hmm.
She has like this poem, but I don't know. But so then Hannah, she has a kid, right? She names him Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
What does Samuel mean?
What does it mean?
She named him Samuel, saying, because I have asked the Lord for him.
Oh.
Samuel.
And so she brings him back to Eli, right? And like, hey, remember me? I was that lady, you thought she was drunk and you didn't think I was going to have a kid?
Here he is.
Mhm.
There he is. He's all yours.
He's all yours, literally.
Oh, man. So Samuel.
Imagine his what he thought, and he was like, what would I do with this kid now? You know?
Yeah, because Eli had kids already too. So, but Eli knew, he's like, if it's from God, then he has to do it. So Samuel pretty much studies under Eli. Eli has two other sons, Phineas and Hophni.
But they become wicked.
Yeah,
It's a sad story.
They're pretty bad.
Mhm.
They're bad.
I think
He gets punished for
the
it.
Bible even calls them worthless men.
Literally.
It's crazy. And they're priests.
I know. It's always the PKs, huh?
Right. Wow. Eli even rebukes his sons because he knows they're bad too. But he doesn't want them to die, right? They're his kids. But then there's this prophet that comes and tells Eli, hey, your son's going to die. Both of them are. And you are too.
God curses the family.
Yeah, pretty much. So then God, he speaks to Samuel, right? During the night. And Samuel thinks that Eli is calling him.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes, hey, I'm not saying anything. I think God's talking to you.
It was like 3 times. Right?
Yeah, you should probably listen to him. And so God pretty much confirms to Samuel what that prophet told Eli about his sons.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's crazy that even Eli knew, because he says, if it's the Lord, let him do what seems good to him.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. I mean,
what is he going to do?
Yeah.
You know? Like,
and we'll talk about on the next pod what happens to the family. It's just crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Did y'all want to say anything? Any last words?
Manu?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very profound.
Amen, bro.
Hey, you say more than the other days.
Literally.
Crazy. All right, Ruth.
I don't know. I mean, it's just sad that, you know, the as we see in a couple chapters in First Samuel, you know, the Israelites are gonna get a king, but it's just sad that, you know, God tried. He really tried to. He sent judges. He did all these things, but you know, as soon as one of them died, it's like, oh wait, let's go back to our old ways. And it's just sad, you know, the evolution of all this. But there is hope in Jesus. And that's it.
I don't know where to start. The dismemberment or the judges.
I knew it. I knew he was going to mention this.
Or Samson, and I don't know. It's a lot. I guess. I guess the main takeaway is that if you know you have a calling or a purpose to do the will of God, don't let that get to your head.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Well said. Yeah, these people, man, it's just crazy that God even would allow them to do these things, even though they weren't doing anything good. But God uses them anyways to do his purpose.
It was still fulfilled.
Yeah. But it's just sad that it had to come to this, you know. But it's pretty much in the name of Israel, struggling with God. That's what they do. I mean, it wouldn't be Israel if it wasn't that. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it. We'll see you guys next week with the new one. Make sure you follow us on Insta.
Send this off, Manu.
Gonna send it better myself.
Deuces.
See you guys.
Peace.